you get an email from that company you've been dying to work for saying, hey, we would love for you to interview. And then they just send you this link and you realize, oh, this isn't a personal interview. This is one of those one-way recorded video interviews. Well, here's the thing. Whether you like them or not, they're not going away, and they are often the first step to get to that personal interview and land that job. So we need to make sure we put our best foot forward in these one-way pre-recorded interviews, and there are some special tips that can help you get there. So let's get to it. Actually, I lied. Before we get into it, my name is Cassandra. I'm a career strategist and speaker. I help people go from hating work to happy work, and I want to make sure you get past this pre-recorded screening, essentially, so that you can land a job you love. So, first thing you want to do is set up your space to be a good environment for this interview. Make sure that you are somewhere quiet. Make sure you are somewhere that is not distracting, where somebody's not going to come in on you in the middle of your conversation. You're not doing this from a Starbucks, okay? You're not doing it from your phone in your car. You've set aside time and you're in a quiet location. And then with that, make sure it's a distraction-free location, right? Is your background distracting? Is what you have in front of you distracting? Like, you really want to kind of set the tone. I talked about this more in a video on just virtual interviews in general, about like you have to be a production designer. You can go check that over here or over here. But just know you want something quiet, distraction-free, that is distraction-free for you and for the person who will watch this. Number 11, make sure you have great sound and video quality. Now, I'm not saying you have to go buy some great new microphone, like one of these or something. I'm not saying you have to get a wireless mic or go buy a new webcam or hook things up to a DSLR. I'm saying make sure you are going to sound good and look good on camera. So you can use, I've got my laptop right here. You can use your camera on your laptop, but make sure your lighting's good. Are you sitting with a window in front of you so you get really good light on you? Is your sound quality okay, right? Like nothing's muffling it up, or test everything ahead of time to make sure, you know, if you've got like AirPods in, it's using the right mic capability as external and internal. Just make sure all of that is set up properly so that they can see and hear you well. All right, the next tip, you want to make excellent virtual eye contact. Now, yes, there's AI software that is starting to do this. Most of it looks real creepy, but the easiest way to make great eye contact is to just make sure you are looking at your camera lens and not at the person that's doing the pre-record right below them. So it's such a subtle difference, but looking here at you or looking here at that person, it changes it. So you want to give great virtual eye contact. To help with this, I always recommend take a Post-it note and put "look here" with a line and put it right behind your camera lens, just as a reminder to you, oh yeah, this is where I'm answering. I'm not looking at the fake person on the screen, I'm looking up. Okay, next tip, be mindful of your body language. Even though this is a pre-record, even though there's not a person on the other end, someone will watch this later, hopefully, or depending on the software, it's gonna be scanned. Certain people are great about it, other people not so much. But either way, you don't wanna be the person who's answering questions like this. And sometimes the fact that we know there's not a person on the other end live, we kind of can slip into some bad habits and start talking from down here, or yeah, I'm looking around and I'm kind of hunched over, or like I start playing with picking at my nails while I'm giving my answer, because we're not talking to an actual human. So remind yourself that somebody will see this one day and still act professionally. You know, shoulders back, sitting up straight to give great answers. It's also going to make you feel more confident to give better answers. So just have that professionalism in your body posture and nonverbal communication that way. Okay, next tip, make sure you are paying attention to the timing. So often on these, they will let you know ahead of time, you will get 3 minutes to answer each question. You will get 5 minutes to answer the question. 5 minutes is a long time. You don't need to use the whole time frame. If a question is, you get 3 minutes per question, but one of their questions is, what industry softwares have you used? And you just need to list them. That's fine. Okay. It can be shorter. That's totally fine. But you don't want to be cut off. It will cut you off at a certain time. So make sure that you are staying within your allotted time frame. Now with that, my next tip, make sure that you use the practice round if they allow it. A lot of these softwares will give you either a practice answer or they'll let you answer it more than one time. Use those features. You really want to use those to your advantage so that you are making the most of your answer and you're giving the best answer possible. So if they allow you a practice round, do it. If they allow you more than one time to answer a question, use it. Okay, similar to the body language tip, you're also going to want to dress the full part. So yes, you are at home, you could just put on a nice top, a button down and a tie, etc., and wear your basketball shorts, have no shoes on, etc. Dress the full part. Put on the full outfit. I'm talking down to your watch, your socks and shoes, etc. Just like you would if you were walking into an actual office building, because it is just going to make you feel different. You are going to feel confident. You are going to talk differently. There is so much research out there around how we dress changes how we feel and how we put ourselves out there to the world. So for your own confidence, for the way you answer questions, you're going to want to dress the full part, whether they see it or not. And with the virtual eye contact, the other thing you want to do is smile. Make sure that when you are looking at that camera and giving that eye contact, you are smiling. Now, granted, you do not have to be a cheerleader and smiling as big as I am right now. But when we're nervous, we tend to start talking like this and we get very serious and we look like someone just killed our dog, okay? We need to smile a little bit. It doesn't have to be big, but you just need to smile just a touch, just a little bit, so that they know that you're interested in what's being said. Okay, next tip, and honestly, this one should have been first, but somehow it ended up down here on the list. Read the full instructions before beginning. When do you have to do this interview by? How long does it say you'll have to take it? Like, make sure you've read through everything. They might even give you tips on, or some insight on like what we're really looking for is, so that you know what you should be highlighting and what can wait until deeper on in an actual one-on-one conversation. So make sure you're reading all the instructions. And then the other tip that could have been given at the beginning, make sure you know where tech support is. Pay attention to tech support, that you know how you can get in contact with people. If for some reason something happens, like it won't hit submit or it's stuck on question 5, you know who you can reach out to. One more that might seem obvious but is really important. Make sure you have a great internet connection. Make sure you are sitting somewhere where you are stable. If you can connect to Ethernet, great. But if not, make sure it's a spot where you have a strong Wi-Fi signal so that it's not going to cut in and out, so that you can put your best virtual foot forward. Now, that is a mix of tips for you that's, somewhat all interviews, and some of those are unfortunately just extra tips we need to give when they're virtual and they're one way. I have a couple of other videos for you specifically on virtual and one-way interviews. You can go check those out over here. And then if you need more interview help in general, I have a free interview prep check. You can get that in the description box below. That is it for today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.